Good Sunday morning, everybody. This is Dr. Hurricane Hal Needham live from Houma, Louisiana, where we're having all eyes focused on Hurricane Ida. Explosive intensification overnight, now a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Maximum sustained winds 140 miles an hour, and the storm still has about 6 or 7 more hours before landfall and could intensify even farther. Hey, check this out, 35 mile an hour wind increase in a 6-hour period last night. That's unbelievable. It's only happened, think of this, in a 24-hour period. Since 1950, we've only had 9 hurricanes intensify by at least 40 miles an hour in 24 hours. That's 40 miles an hour in 24. Ida did 35 miles an hour in only 6 hours. Unbelievable rate of intensification. We had very light wind shear, very high oceanic heat content. We talk about these warm core eddies, these pools of warm water out in the Gulf of Mexico. It moved very close to or over a warm core eddy, and also very moist environment. So really, we've been talking about these ingredients coming together. They have come together. I'm in Houma, Louisiana. I'm very close to where the landfall location will be. Let's talk about timing. It looks like Ida will strike the coast. Already we're seeing tropical storm force winds, I think, just offshore. Here in Houma, we have really a light breeze and some light rain showers moving in. I'm going to let you see the scene here. Really, you would not know that there's a major hurricane just offshore. Again, I'm in Houma, Louisiana. We're expecting landfall near here. I think, I don't know, maybe around 1 o'clock. I think our strongest winds here in Houma will be maybe 1 o'clock through 3 o'clock or something like that today. We probably will take the I passage. I'm in relatively high ground. I wanted to talk a little bit about storm chasing. I'm a hurricane scientist. I run the U.S. storm surge database. I do a lot of risk-based analysis, things like that. In recent years, I've been getting out and tracking storms, but I'm very careful about where I am. This is an extremely dangerous storm. A lot of southeast Louisiana is very low lying, and so I spent a lot of time going over elevation maps here for Houma. I'm on relatively high ground, about the highest ground you're going to find in this part of the country. Also have a massive hotel behind me where I can get myself up. So this is a dangerous hurricane, especially if you don't know your elevation or you're down low. You don't want to be down low. You also don't want to be out moving around and driving around roads. A lot of southeast Louisiana is very low. Storm surge potential is a big threat in this part of the country. Storm surge can move inland. This is a saltwater push, can move inland easily 15, 20 miles in this part of the country. I'm on relatively high ground here, and I'm around, I think, 7, 8 feet. There is a lot of friction between here and the coast, a lot of marshland, and so that can help impede a little bit of the storm surge. But again, I have a hotel behind me where I can get myself up. Big concerns would be if you're on low ground, if you're traveling or on a low-lying road. Also, if you're in a house with a tree nearby, there can be a lot of wind-blown debris with a storm like this. Category 4 winds can do a lot of structural damage even if you don't have a tree fall on your house. So really concerned with this storm. We're watching this intensify, and it could intensify even more. Let's talk a little bit about timing. Again, we're expecting a landfall early this afternoon. I think here in Houma area, maybe, I don't know, 12 to 4 will probably be the heart of the storm in this part of the country. Getting up to New Orleans Metro. Now, we are expecting substantial wind damage from hurricane force winds are probable in New Orleans Metro. Concerned about that. I think those strongest winds will be later this afternoon into this evening. Baton Rouge has now been upgraded. Substantial damage from hurricane force winds now probable in Baton Rouge. You haven't seen this before. I know a lot of you lived through Gustav in 2008. That was a Category 2 hurricane on the coast, but up in Baton Rouge, those were tropical storm force winds less than 74 miles an hour. It appears that Ida's winds in Baton Rouge Metro and over in West Baton Rouge Parish as well, maybe stronger than anything that we've seen in recent times, even stronger than Gustav in 2008, and we remember all the tree falls and everything like that. Let's talk about storm surge, something that I've mentioned. I'm a big fan of NHC and their storm surge modeling. I was looking over the storm surge models and trying to tweak them and bring into play my knowledge from running the U.S. storm surge database and doing a master's and PhD on storm surge science. And something that I've seen that, one thing I would tweak, I might increase the storm surge levels to the east of the Mississippi River levees. That's getting in over towards Shell Beach, Chalmette, those places, the surge push in from the east. A lot of times when we've seen a hurricane make landfall around Grand Isle, over to Cocodrie, come up through Houma, a lot of times the peak surge actually is not near the landfall location. It's actually east of the Mississippi River levees. We have a strong push, a lot of fetch or open water there to the east of the Mississippi River, and so that can really pile up a lot of storm surge there. Also in Lake Pontchartrain, we could see quite a bit of storm surge as well. NHC forecast for storm surge is 7 to 11 feet to the east of the Mississippi River. Again, I think it could be maybe getting into the 10, 12 foot range. Lake Pontchartrain, I'm very concerned if we get the eye wall near or over part of the lake, the western part of Lake Pontchartrain, we could see the storm surge levels go up substantially, maybe even getting into the 8 to 12 foot or higher range. So this is a storm to take very seriously. The storm surge threat, the heavy rainfall threat, we're going to see compound flooding from heavy rain that just can't drain. We get a prolonged saltwater push, it really impedes the drainage of the heavy rain as well. I'm going to keep in touch with you here from the scene. Again, I'm in Houma, Louisiana. This is where I'll be riding out the storm. I don't really like to get out and be driving around in these systems. Wind right now is probably, I don't know, around 10 or 12 miles an hour. We're getting some showers move in, but the eye is, not that far offshore and moving closer here. Again, this is a very dangerous storm. I'll keep you updated. Shoot me some comments. Stay tuned right here to CNC social media throughout the duration of this storm. I'll be doing my best to document it. Again, a very serious storm. Stay tuned right here to CNC social media, obviously the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center as well. Everyone, I'll be in touch very frequently on CNC, Facebook Live, and social media today.